right. Welcome once again, everybody, to another episode of Ridge Talk. I'm Pastor Justin. Pastor Daniel's here with me today. And check it out. We've got a new look here in the South Ridge studio.
Right on time.
Yes.
Meaning like 8 weeks late. But
8 weeks late.
That's okay.
I mean, we ordered this, and then it was like...
I ordered it like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and then it was back ordered, and then we're like, hey, give us our money back. And then they're like, no, it'll be there. And here it is. So yeah, Daniel and another volunteer here at the church, I think a week or two ago, stayed up late or worked late one evening getting this all put up. So
yeah, we got new digs. I like it.
Yeah, good times. So, we don't have too much to talk about. We just finished a message series on the book of Ruth,
That's right.
book of Ruth in the Old Testament. And all of those messages, you can still watch or listen to all of those messages on our website. So if you happen to miss anything from that series, please feel free to go do so. And this week, we're kicking off a new message series that we're just calling Following Jesus.
Yep.
And it's just looking at all the areas of life in which Jesus invites us to follow him. He says, I am the way, follow me, and that's what we want to do. And it sounds a lot easier just to say it in a church environment. Well, hey, it's just as simple as following Jesus.
Right. Jesus said, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. And so, yeah, the way of following Jesus is the way to the cross.
And the way of following Jesus is extremely countercultural.
Very much so. In every culture.
In every culture. You see Jesus interact with people that... we might not normally interact with.
That's right.
You see him respond to people who are well-educated and in authority and in ways that you wouldn't expect to respond to somebody well-educated and in authority. You see him just surrounding himself with people who... again, we wouldn't hang out with. And, I get to do the message next week. I think you're introducing it this week.
Yeah.
Focusing on proximity to the poor. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. Proximity just to people.
Just to people.
In general. Yeah, but it will include the poor for sure.
Yeah. And next week, I'm going to be focusing on Jesus inviting people to the table. And that's a really big deal in ancient Middle Eastern culture when you ate a meal with somebody in Jesus' day, it was an invitation to friendship. It was an invitation to ongoing relationship. It was, hey, I see you as a good member, upstanding person in society, and I want to acknowledge that here by eating in your home. And that's really what set the religious leaders off. They're like, hey, you're eating with people who are not upright and who are not following God. And Jesus is like, hey, it's not the healthy that need a doctor. It's the sick.
That's right.
And I want to show those who have been beat down and kicked down how much I care for them and how much I love them. And again, he invites us to do the same and to follow his lead in all of that. And it's a challenging thing to do. So, other than just the Gospels, we see other examples or potential examples of Jesus throughout the Scriptures as well. You have Hagar in the book of Genesis. That goes out into the desert, and an angel of the Lord appears to Hagar. That could be a Jesus sighting in the Old Testament, depending on how one understands things from the Old Testament. And the first thing the angel asked her is, where have you come from and where are you going? And those are all good questions we can be wrestling with. You have one from... you have that. An angel of the Lord shows up a number of times in the Old Testament. And so those are always good questions, good things to wrestle with. But just out of curiosity, what are you most looking forward to here in the series?
Well, it's a different series than we've done in a couple of months now. We've done a lot of working through books of the Bible. Advent was a little bit different. We had kind of a theme that was topical. This is even kind of broader than that. And so it really just... the series invites us to do what we've been talking about, following Jesus into various aspects of life. And so I'm excited about the opportunity to kind of hone in on some of those places that we see Jesus going, places that are sometimes unexpected or difficult for us. One of the things, Justin and I have been talking about is that really, for us to really follow Jesus, it has to be more than an intellectual exercise. It can't just be something that we read a story in the Bible and then we leave Sunday morning and just live our lives the way we were living before Sunday.
Yeah.
I know there is a sense in which sometimes people can think, well, this is my spiritual shot for the week, right? I'm gonna go to church, and that's gonna be my spiritual formation for the week. Maybe I'll go to one other group in the middle of the week, and I'll get a little bit more of Jesus there, and that'll hold me over for the rest of the week. And we're inviting people to go beyond that. We're inviting people to say, no, spiritual following Jesus is not a once or twice a week thing. It's a daily activity. And so I think some of that,
and being with him every day, like he's with us every day.
That's right.
And we have to acknowledge that and be intentional to recognize that and to just take time to say, hey, I'm going to spend this time with you.
That's right. And so one of the things we're going to be emphasizing throughout this series not only is what did Jesus do, but how do we do that now in our own context? What are the ways that we can be with Jesus and then do the things that Jesus did? And so I'm excited about that. And the way that I'm going to format that and the way I'm talking about it is a little different than if I'm walking through an entire book of the Bible.
Yeah.
So
and,
what about you?
I've been reading through the Proverbs recently, and there's so many different illustrations that you can pull out for following Jesus. But one of the illustrations that comes up in the Proverbs over and over and over again is the need of scales to not use uneven scales, and I think that applies to our spiritual lives as well. When we just go about every single day, like, hey, I went to church, so I'm going to put something on the scale here. I went to a small group, I'm going to put something on the scale here. It starts to weigh in that favor, but then you think about how do you spend the rest of your time? Oh well, I watched 4 hours of TV every day throughout the week. The scale becomes very imbalanced. And so I just think entering into this series, it would be, as Daniel said, it would be our hope that people would not just engage with the Sunday services or with a small group, but people would dig in. They would read through the passages that we're going to be teaching on. And people would just be really self-reflective. I'm a strong advocate for discipleship, and I believe that we can read the Bible and come to knowledge of what happened, but we don't always enter into the Scriptures or allow the Scriptures to really enter deeply into us and transform us. We can engage with the Bible in such a way that we just get information about God, but not experience transformation in our lives.
That's right.
And God's about transformation. So I'm just hoping as we get into this series that people will be just intentional to recognize that God is doing a work in them, desires to do a work in them, is relentless in his pursuit of them, of us, and that they would just take steps to be intentional to get to know him better.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a really exciting and even transformative series at Southridge. And so I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah. So we'll have more to share in a future week. This is just a short update here to let you know that it's coming. As always, feel free to like or subscribe to this episode here so that every time a new episode drops, you'll get notified of that. And we will see you all again soon.